Urban Gateways has been engaging young people in arts experiences to inspire creativity and impact social change since 1961. The following program celebrates the 60th anniversary of Urban Gateways. The Art and Speaker Series highlights the intersection between the arts and thought-provoking topics. Each event will feature compelling artists, some that are part of the Urban Gateways network and some from outside the reach of the organization. We invite you to sit back and take in some powerful perspectives that we hope will leave you feeling inspired. Special thanks to the sponsors for this event. Thank you, Salmons Financial Group, Skadden, Wernerco, Deloitte, ITW, Robin, Salomon and Pat Limited, Eric McKissick and Cheryl Mayberry McKissick. We are grateful for your support.
For the past 12 months, the Art and Speaker Series has introduced us to many artists, media professionals.
We are the face of social justice.
Educators, and arts leaders. We've covered important topics such as storytelling, race, resistance, healing, and change-making. Each artist has taught us how important it is to have courageous conversations.
For white people to be audience to that pain, that hurt, that trauma, and to not respond.
So when it came to doing hair and I saw how it defied gravity, it made me think about how many different ways can I make a crown? How many different crowns have we seen?
Today, we will wrap the Art and Speaker Series with our final installment, Art and Looking Ahead. The speakers you will meet are well respected in the arts community. They have decided to let you into their organization's past, present, and future. First up is the legendary Jackie Taylor.
My name is Jackie Taylor. I am the founder, executive director, and CEO of the Black Ensemble Theater. We are a 46-year-old organization, and our mission is to eradicate racism.
I've always been theatrical. I always made up stories. I'm an actress. I will always be an actress. But right now the focus is on theater and making my theater sustainable to last beyond Jackie Taylor. What will the history books say? They will say, she came, she saw, she conquered.
Next is Ira Murfin.
My name is Ira Murfin. I'm a Chicago native. I'm an artist who works in theater and performance, writing, and literature. I'm a public programmer. I think about putting on public events and gathering people together, often around arts and culture events. I'm also somebody who aids or facilitates the kind of encounter or interpretation through running discussions or giving talks.
While these organizations were thriving for decades, no one would have expected what the year 2020 had in store.
2020 for Black Ensemble Theater, I would imagine, was like it was for all of our arts organizations. Very challenging, highly stressful, very scary. Having no knowledge of what this COVID-19 pandemic really was, not being prepared, and having to just stop.
In 2020, I was working with the Chicago Humanities Festival. I had a fellowship, and the aim of this project was to develop partnerships with local community-based organizations on the south side of Chicago. The best laid plans went quite awry when COVID came along, because this project was very much meant to be being in neighborhoods and bringing those connections together. We found ourselves with the task of having to pilot this program, and there was a certain timeline ticking because of funding, but having to do it entirely remotely and to kind of imagine the neighborhood-based part of what we were doing, which was really the most essential part, without really being physically embedded in those spaces.
We, like most organizations like ours, most arts organizations, we lost our earned revenue because we couldn't produce productions on stage. So 90% of our earned revenue was lost. We had to pivot. We had to stay in front of our audiences so that they would remember us and know that we're still here. We had to learn virtual technology very quickly, which we did. And we had to hold our head up high, keep hopeful, be strong, and keep moving forward, one day at a time, because that's all we could do. We're continuing slowly. We don't know where this pandemic is going to lead us. We have no idea. No one knows. In trying to keep everybody safe, we're going to have to make sacrifices. We're going to have to operate in ways that we have not operated before or we're not used to.
We, pivoted to being online. We did quite a bit of programming online that was responsive to both what was going on with COVID and what was going on with the protests after the murder of George Floyd, the various other conversations around racial equity, police abolition, etc., that were happening at the time. Did a few different youth activism panels that were streamed online. In some ways, the onlineness of it and the ability to kind of call people up and put them on Zoom and put them on camera and send it out in a streaming way created a kind of nimbleness that might not have been there if we were doing a kind of traditional, season of programming.
The mission of the Black Ensemble Theater is to eradicate racism and its devastating effects on society. That was our mission 46 years ago when we began in 1976, and that is our mission today. That puts us in a category all our own. Especially during these times of awareness, where people are becoming aware of the systemic racism that exists and permeates every aspect of our society. So what we do is vital to the existence of who we are, and that we includes all of us, human beings. Are we going to continue to destroy each other? Are we going to continue to walk upon the backs of others to get to the next level? Are we going to continue to treat people based on their race or their color or their class or their age? Or are we going to get smarter than that? We're all the same. We have different beliefs. We have different traditions. And those all need to be accepted and respected. But we gotta learn how to live together, or we will perish together. Our planet is in trouble. We gotta find some answers. And it's gonna take all great minds. It's going to take all of us. We need each other. So, yes, we are open. Yes, we are producing again. But our first priority is to keep everyone safe. So, we will only produce for 2022, we will only produce 80-minute productions. Small casts, no intermission, no concessions, no valet services. Everyone, every single person, vaccinated, not vaccinated, had COVID, haven't had COVID, every person must wear a mask. Everyone. When they enter the theater, they must keep it on the entire time, and when they exit the theater, they must have their mask. We have places where you can wash your hands all over the theater, and we're asking our people to practice social distancing. And we're only filling the theater 1/3. Right now, we can't focus on trying to make money. We have to focus on trying to stay alive. So, and keeping our audience safe. So we have social distance the seats. We are only using 1/3 of the theater. And we are taking one step at a time.
We've all made a real effort this past year or so to stay positive, right? To imagine that we are getting through this, and to get through it. Sometimes I wonder if that adaptability, if there's something lost in that adaptability. I really believed that I needed to be present at cultural events, performances, exhibitions, etc., at least a few times a month to sort of be myself and to be in the world and to be up to date with the things that were important.
Art and culture played a big role in keeping everyone entertained, hopeful, and courageous. Jackie and Ira share why they believe the arts are so important.
It's not a fixed set of things. It's a kind of mode of engaging the world. It's a kind of social contract, and it allows us to listen and look and experience differently. So I think the way in which art gives us an opportunity to have that encounter, to move from one place to another in search of that encounter, to be with other people, be with other thoughts in space.
The arts are the center of our soul. If you feel that you are not an artist, you are wrong. Everyone is an artist. You're creative. You imagine. You listen. You focus. You discipline. All artistic entities. You might write, you might sing, you might dance. Those are direct artistic abilities. But everyone, whether it's indirect or direct, is an artist in some way. The arts are important because they tell our history. They reflect who we are as human beings. They help us to understand where we've been and where we're going.
Again, is a history of being in place. I can say that I think being an artist in Chicago, it is about being an artist in Chicago. In other words, that you know that you're part of a community and that you're part of a place.
In order to learn, we use artistic entities, such as being able to focus, being able to listen, being able to concentrate, being able to control our movement, control our space, control our environment, to be creative, to think, to imagine. That's why the arts are so important for the schools. Everyone doesn't learn the same way. And the arts tend to make lessons three-dimensional, and that's important. In order to learn, we need the arts. They are vital. They are the water of our soul.
Every arts organization across the world experienced hardship. We don't know what the new normal will be, but Jackie and Ira have a few suggestions.
First of all, we don't know what the new normal is going to be. We don't even know what it is. So we have to prepare the best way that we can. We have to stay hopeful, diligent, strong. We cannot be fearless. because this is a fearful situation. And we're only human. So it's going to be natural to have some fear. It's the unknown. It's the unknown. And yes, we fear the unknown. But through mankind's history, we've faced the unknown to the point where we have created such huge accomplishments for ourselves. And we'll do that again. But we have a history of success. And we should embrace that history, learn from it, and no matter what, we have to keep moving forward. We don't heal in a straight line. The battle is up and down, up and down, up and down. And we have to get used to the waters shifting. And we will, because we have. We will continue to move forward.
If I had to send any message to the arts community at the end of 2021, after living through these past 2 years, I would almost want to be a voice of caution and say, as we charge into a future in which we see things coming back, see this idea of going back to normal, let's ask ourselves what changed in this time, what the time away from being physically close meant, how that affected us, and to do that in a way that lets in grief, lets in mourning for things that might not be with us anymore as we go forward, but also that lets in new possibilities that might have emerged and lets us discard things that this experience have revealed are not vital, are not essential, are not helping us. And I think, you know, the intersection of the pandemic with the responses to the murder of George Floyd and the protests and conversation that came after that around racial justice, I think is a great example. You know, COVID did allow, or I hope did allow, some space for some institutions to, at least for a moment, to take stock and to reflect on these really big questions of the sort of systems and histories that majority white institutions are benefiting from, and the ways that those institutions have perpetuated those systems for a long time. You know, I hope everybody gets the joyous moment of rushing back in to continue the work that felt, you know, put on pause in March of 2020, but that we take with us a little bit of the confusion and loss and grief that we felt at important moments of the last 2 years.
Both Ira and Jackie have shown optimism, tenacity, and resilience. Let's see what's next for them.
I'd be interested to resume my what's been my main project for the last several years, which is a project called An Interview, which is ongoing chain of conversations between two people, in which two people sit across a table from each other, and in the first half they read a transcript of an interview that one of them conducted with another person in the previous segment. And then in the second half, the person who has just entered the piece interviews the person who has returned from the previous segment for about half an hour exactly, actually. That's had a long pause on it, but it's an unbroken chain of performance events that I hope to continue to invite people into in different contexts, not only in necessarily theaters or performance spaces, but yeah, hopefully look for an interview in a space near you, or let me know if you'd like to be part of it.
Well, we hope people will come and see and celebrate with us our Black Ensemble Holiday Extravaganza. It's our tradition to uplift and inspire. And we will continue that tradition with our holiday spectacular. We hope people will join us. We hope people will watch us. Also, it'll be visual. It'll be on the regular stations, technology-wise, YouTube and our website and Facebook and those kind of things. So we hope you'll join us. We could all use some uplifting. Amen. Hallelujah.
Thank you for tuning in to the final installment of Art and Looking Ahead. Make sure to check out the full art and speaker series on the Urban Gateways YouTube channel. Until next time.
Special thanks to the sponsors for this event. Thank you, Salmons Financial Group, Skadden, Wernico, Deloitte, ITW, Robin, Salomon and Pat Limited, Eric McKissick and Cheryl Mayberry McKissick. We are grateful for your support.